It's a new day and abundance is here. My name is Bisola Miriam and this is Clarity in Seconds. Eko Jimo Bisola Miriam ni mo ń jẹ́ lówùúrọ̀ yìí. Mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ nípa nǹkan tí mo kọ́ nínú ọ̀sẹ̀ tó lọ àti pàtàkì nínú oṣù tá a ṣe lò kọjá. So, lákọ̀ọ́kọ́, now, first of all, I made a list of things that I learned, and I'll say there are 5 of them. The very first one is when the Bible says that I will prepare a table before you in the presence of my enemies. Like when the Bible says that the Lord will prepare a table before us in the presence of our enemies, it's not a lie. So let me give you backstory. I wanted to make my Hausa presentation, during the Africa Ball, but the power that be did not get me to. I was taken out of the list for some very weird reasons. But guess what? This same president this same cabinet that did not let me do my Hausa presentation during the Africa Ball actually facilitated my Hausa presentation on a bigger scale, on a bigger platform, which was the International Students Association's event. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Just keep a cheerful disposition. Just keep a cheerful disposition, because sometimes even those who don't like you, they will cheer you up. They will clap their hands. They will dance your dance for you. Once you keep a happy and cheerful disposition, when the Bible says that I will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies, it's not a lie. I am a testimony, and I can tell you for sure that your enemies or frenemies, they will clap their hands for you. And that was what happened. I was there having my wonderful Hausa presentation. They were there recording me. They thought they were making jest, but they don't know how these things work in the spiritual space. And so the Lord will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies as long as you release them. Be happy and do not keep any grudge. Do not hold any grudge against any man. The second thing I want to share with you very quickly is the idea that you need to be careful what you think about. Be careful what you think about, because there's something called the law of attraction. What you dwell on, what you think about, you would attract into your life. So last week, Friday, I wanted to rush to the mall, and I was saying, I hope I won't be late. I hope I won't miss the bus. Yes, I did not miss the bus on my way to the mall, but guess what? I missed the bus on my way back, because when I got to the mall, I ended up buying what I wanted to buy, and then I realized that I didn't have enough funds in the debit card that I wanted to use for my transaction. And what happened? My time was wasted, like literally wasted, even though I was so much in a hurry that I did not want to miss my bus. I did not only miss the bus, they had to take out items, and I had to take less than what I actually intended to buy. So the point that I'm making to you this morning is sometimes you need to be careful what you give energy to. Not sometimes, all the time. When you give energy to lack, when you give energy to, anxiety, you would have more of it. I hope this makes sense. So yes, my time was wasted. Yes, items had to be taken out so that what I had in my bank account would pay for what I was trying to buy. But voila, I was still able to pick a couple of things. Now, at the point when I needed to leave the store, I learned another lesson. So I wanted to use, I thought I could just order a lift, get into a lift, and then go home. When I tried to set up my lift, order a ride, I didn't have enough funds in the same debit card account. In the same debit card that was connected to my lift account. So my lift, ride couldn't go through. I couldn't order a ride successfully. And I was there seated wondering, how do I go home from Walmart? And so I just stood up and said, there's a woman over there who is parking, who is trying to get stuffs into our car. Perhaps she's going to Walmart. Perhaps she can just take me there. And what did I do? Perhaps she can just take me home. I walked towards this woman, and this woman I told her, would you mind giving me a ride home? And she said, well, why not? So she took me to my house, and that was how I was able to get home. Yes, sometimes we might use our own mind or your mind to bring things you don't want into your life. You have power to actually take those things away. The same way I attracted, anxiety because I didn't want to be late, I didn't want to miss the bus. Yes, I missed the bus, but I used the same power that God has given me to attract and ask for help, okay? And I got someone who gave me a ride home. So I hope this teaches you that you have the power to change any situation. You just need to what? Ask. The other thing is there is a blessing in every, there's some good in every chaos. There is some good in every chaos. Now, I contested for the position of a president in a student organization, and I must tell you that I witnessed oppression, classic toxicity. But at the end of that election, I learned lessons. And guess what? Just exactly 7 days after that election, I was invited by the Poor People's Campaign, the same Poor People's Campaign that was established by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. before he left. I was invited to speak on a national Zoom call that was organized by that organization. And I was supposed to speak on voters' oppression. Guess what? The same pain that I experienced, the same trauma that I experienced in the past African Student Association's election that I was a part of became a story for my glory during the Poor People's Campaign speech that I made for 2 minutes. So you see, when bad things happen to you, when people don't treat you fairly, when you experience injustice, I'm not saying you should take it or accept it, but the thing you must understand is it is a chaotic situation, or you might get breakthroughs, blessings from that very chaos. And the final thing I would like to share with you is your habits make success. Like the habits that you cultivate, okay, have a way of bringing you close to your success or where you want to get to. So I started preparing for the law school admission test, and it's not been easy. I think I've done 7 days, and I keep, the more I spend time on the practice, on practicing and preparing and prepping, right, I see the changes. Like I'm beginning to understand what I didn't understand before. And that is the thing. When you're starting something new, you might be confused, you might not understand, but see, clarity comes in the doing. The more you spend time, the more you practice, the better you get at it. And finally, I'm going to translate everything that I've said in Yoruba so that those who are Yoruba speakers like me would connect with my story or the reflections from the past week and of course from the past month. Lówùúrọ̀ yìí, nǹkan tí mo kàn fẹ́ bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ojú pé mo kọ́ nǹkan mẹ́rin ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ nínú ọ̀sẹ̀ tó lọ, nínú oṣù tó lọ gan pàtó tí mo sì fẹ́ bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́, ṣẹ́rí, nta bá ń finú wa rò bó pẹ́ bóyá yóò ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa o. Ó ṣẹlẹ̀ pé nínú ọ̀sẹ̀ tó lọ mo fẹ́ lọ ra nǹkan ní mall. Mo kàn sọ lọ́kàn mi pé kọ́lọ̀ má jẹ́ ń pẹ́ o, kọ́lọ̀ má jẹ́ ń pẹ́ o. Bí mo ṣe ń sọ pé kọ́lọ̀ má jẹ́ ń pẹ́, kọ́lọ̀ má jẹ́ ń pẹ́, mo máa padà pẹ́ ẹ̀. Bí mi ò pẹ́ débẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí mo ra tí màá rà tán, pẹ̀lú bí mo ṣe ń fi ọkàn mi rò pé Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ kí bọ́ọ̀sì tí ó gbé mi lọ kó má yọ mí lẹ̀. Bọ́ọ̀sì máa padà yọ mí lẹ̀ nítorí ìgbà tí mo ṣe tán, àkọ́kọ́ owó káàdì mi ò bá lọ. Mo fi káàdì síbi tí ń ti sanwó ní káàdì ò bá gbowó jáde, kò mọ̀ fi mí lọ́rùn lẹ̀. Àṣé mi ò lówó tó nǹkan tí mo rà níbi tí mo ti lọ ra nǹkan. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ wọ́n kọ́kọ́ tún láti máa tún gbogbo ẹrù mi tò. Wọ́n kọ́kọ́ ní láti máa yọ àwọn nǹkan kan sílẹ̀. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tán ṣe gbogbo yẹn tán, bọ́ọ̀sì mà ti lọ. Mi ò bá mọ bí n tún ṣe padà lọlé. Lọ́rọ̀ kan mo ṣàwò pé ẹjọ́, ṣèbí èmi náà mo fọwọ́ ara mi dá nǹkan yìí lẹ̀. Èmi náà ni màá sì fọwọ́ ara mi tún tò. Kí ni mo ṣe? Mo sì jáde, mo jókòó, mo róbìnrin kan tó ń to nǹkan sínú ọkọ̀ rẹ̀. Mo bá sún mọ́bìnrin, mo ní ẹ dákun ṣé ẹ lè gbé mi lọlé. Lóbìnrin ọ̀hún bá ní àbí kò nira, kò sí wàhálà, èmi ò gbé yín lọlé. Ló bá gbé mi lọlé o. Lọ́rọ̀ kan, ẹnu ara mi náà ni mo fi kọ nǹkan tí mi ò fẹ́. Mi ò fẹ́ ṣe láì má tètè délé. Bó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé mo tiẹ̀ ní ìpèníjà díẹ̀ níbi tí mo ti lọ ra nǹkan oúnjẹ, mo ṣáà padà délé láyọ̀ àtàlàáfíà láì tiẹ̀ ṣe pé mo tún náwó ọkọ̀ mi. Ohun tí mo kàn fẹ́ kọ́ yín náà ni pé ẹ béèrè fún nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́, kẹ́sì má ní ẹ má ṣọkàn méjì tẹ́ bá ń béèrè nǹkan lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Kódà bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ẹ béèrè nǹkan lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ èèyàn gan pátápátá tí wọ́n sọ ni pé kò sí, mi ò lè ṣe ẹ́ lóore yìí. Ibi téèyàn kan bá ti sọ pé òun ò lè ṣe yín lóore ọ̀hún, lẹ́lòmíì ó ti sọ pé kí ló dé tí n fi lè ṣe ọ́ lóore ọ̀hún, torí ọ̀pọ̀ wà ń bí o kò sì sáìní kankan. Lẹ́lẹ̀kejì, ẹ máa ṣẹ́rí nígbà tí Bíbélì sọ pé òun ó ṣì tẹ́ tábìlì sílẹ̀ fún wa lójú àwọn ọ̀tá wa, kì í ṣe rọ́ o. Ó ṣẹlẹ̀ pé ìgbà tí wọ́n ṣe nǹkan kan nílé ìwé mi, a pè program yẹn ní Africa Ball. Mo ní pé mo tiẹ̀ ní eré Hausa tí mo fẹ́ ṣe, ní àwọn ọ̀gá tó ń ṣètò ọ̀hún bá sọ pé rárá o, o ò lè ṣe kinní yìí o. Lọ́rọ̀ kan wọn ò ṣáà fi mí sí orí ètò, wọ́n yọ mí. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tán ṣe tí wọ́n ṣe tán, kí ló wá ṣẹlẹ̀? Ṣé mọ̀ pé àwọn tó ṣètò kíní Africa Ball yẹn, àwọn náà gangan ni wọ́n ṣètò bí mo ṣe di ẹni tí ó tún lọ ń jójó Hausa rẹ̀ níwájú àwọn èèyàn tó wá láti oríṣiríṣi àgbáyé. Ṣé àwọn pé èyí tá a kọ́kọ́ ń sọ tí mò ń sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ ní Africa Ball tí wọ́n tán yọ mí kúrò lórí ètò, àwọn náà fi mí síbi ètò ti International Student Association. Àwọn fúnra wọn náà ni wọ́n ṣe fídíò mi, àwọn fúnra wọn náà ń pàtẹ́wọ́. Kí ni ẹ̀kọ́ tó wà nù tí mò ń sọ yìí náà ni pé nígbà tí Bíbélì sọ pé èmi yóò tẹ́ tábìlì síwájú yín lójú àwọn ọ̀tá yín. Àwọn ọ̀tá mi yìí, àwọn náà ń pàtẹ́wọ́ o, àwọn náà ń ya fídíò. Mi ò rí wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀tá but wọn ò ń ṣọ̀rẹ́. So ẹni tí ò bá ṣọ̀rẹ́ èèyàn, kí là á tún pè wọ́n? Ṣọ̀rẹ́ bí ọ̀tá ni àbọ̀tá bí ọ̀rẹ́, èmi ò mọ̀. But lọ́rọ̀ kan, ẹ̀kọ́ tí mo kọ́ ń bẹ̀ ni pé ẹ máa bá gbogbo èèyàn ṣe. Ẹ máa fi inú kan bá ọmọ ènìyàn lò. Bó pẹ́ bó yá, inú kan yín òun náà ni yóò jẹ́ inú kan yín ni ó mú yín máa débi gíga. Ẹ sì ní dèrò ẹ̀yìn o. Ẹ̀kọ́ kẹta tí mo tún kọ́ ni pé nínú gbogbo nǹkan burúkú tó bá ń ṣẹlẹ̀, ìgbéga wà ń bẹ̀. Ìdí tí mo dẹ̀ fi sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé nínú ọ̀sẹ̀ tó lọ yìí náà mo gbégbá ìbò. Mo jáde fún ààrẹ African Students Association. Pẹ̀lú gbogbo wọ́nranwọ̀nran màgòmágó tán ṣe, wọ́n ṣàdá gbogbo ìbò ọ̀hún rú. Àbí wọ́n dá gbogbo kíbò tó dìgbà ìbò gan, wọ́n ti dá gbogbo ẹ̀rú, ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀yàmáyàmá. Inú mi ò dùn pé báwo ni èèyàn ṣe máa sọ election nínú school kéèyàn wá sọ di yàmáyàmá báyìí. Lọ́rọ̀ kan ṣá, la rí pé gbogbo ohun tí wọ́n gbìyànjú àti ṣe lọ́kàn wọn ni pé kán fi lè má jẹ́ kí n gbégbó orókè. Àmọ́ nínú nǹkan, pẹ̀lú pé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ọ̀hún ó dùn mí, mo tún lo nǹkan burúkú yẹn, mo tún lò gẹ́gẹ́ bí testimony or gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìwàásù nígbà tí mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ níbi Poor People's Campaign Program tí Martin Luther King dá sílẹ̀ kó tó kú. Nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ kẹ́ kọ́ ń bẹ̀ ni pé ṣé ẹ rí táwọn èèyàn bá ń ṣe bí sin tí nǹkan burúkú bá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ àbí tí nǹkan ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tínú yín ò dùn, ẹ̀kọ́ náà wà ń bẹ̀. Ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ́ bá sì kọ́ nù nǹkan tí ò dá yẹn, ẹ lè lò ó fún nǹkan ìgbéga yín lọ́jọ́ iwájú. Ọgbọ́n tí mo kọ́ ń bẹ̀ nìyẹn o. Mo sì rí nǹkan òun lò fún ìgbéga mi níbi ètò míì tó tún ju ti ètò iléèwé lọ. Níparí, nǹkan míì tí mo tún wá fẹ́ sọ ni pé ṣé ẹ rí, ẹ máa gbìyànjú wọ́n ní èèyàn tí ò bá rá kò lè rìn o, èèyàn tí ò bá sì lè rìn kò lè fò. Èèyàn tí ò bá rá kò lè rìn, èèyàn tí ò bá rìn kò lè fò. Mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní mo ń ṣègbáradì fún ìdánwò kan. Mo sì rí pé bí mo ṣe ń ṣe díẹ̀díẹ̀ tí mo ń ṣe lójoojúmọ́, tí mo ń lo bí 20 ìṣẹ́jú 30 ìṣẹ́jú láti máa kà ló ń yé mi sí o. Tí mi ò bá máa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, báwo ni mo ṣe fẹ́ gbégbá orókè nínú ìdánwò ọ̀hún. Ẹ̀kọ́ tó wà níbẹ̀ ni pé ẹ máa gbìyànjú díẹ̀díẹ̀ bó pẹ́ bóyá nǹkan tẹ́ ń gbèrò pé kó ṣẹlẹ̀ ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ o. Ní ṣókí, mo ti bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ nípa nǹkan 4. Àkọ́kọ́, ẹ máa fi inú yín ro nǹkan dáadáa, torí tẹ́ ẹ bá fi ọkàn yín rò yóò ṣẹlẹ̀ o. Nǹkan kejì ni pé ẹ máa béèrè fún ìrànlọ́wọ́. Ẹ má mẹ́nu dúró. Tẹ́ bá nílò ìrànlọ́wọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Ọlọ́run, ẹ máa béèrè, torí Ọlọ́run sọ pé ká béèrè àwa ó sì rí gbà. Lẹ́lẹ̀kẹta, ṣẹ́rí ìbùkún máa ń wà nínú ìbànújẹ́ àti nínú nǹkan tí ò dáa. Ìbùkún wà ńbẹ̀ o. Nǹkan kẹrin ni pé ẹni tí ò bá rá kò ní rìn, ẹni tí ò bá rìn kò ní fò. Ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ kẹ́ máa ṣe díẹ̀díẹ̀. Níparí, Ọlọ́run ti sọ pé òun yóò tẹ́ tábìlì sílẹ̀ fún yín lójú àwọn ọ̀tá yín. So lọ́rọ̀ kan, ẹ̀yin máa fi inú kan bá àwọn ọmọ ènìyàn lò. Bó pẹ́ bóyá àwọn ọ̀tá yín yẹn gangan, àwọn ni wọ́n wọṣọ lọ́jọ́ ẹ̀yẹ yín. Ire o.